The 6 months before Mohammed Baroud went to prison were the best 6 months of his life. He'd found true love.
We went to a small restaurant near where we lived.
She lived in his hometown in Somalia. Her name was Ismahan.
And we realized that we wanted to get married.
That's it. Love at first sight, sort of.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Mohammed was in that phase of new love where you can do risky things.
I suppose maybe I wanted to share my happiness.
He writes a letter exposing conditions in a local hospital, which angers the dictator, and Mohammed is sentenced to life in solitary confinement. And in his cell, his thoughts about Ismahan start to turn. They darken.
I could not imagine how she is, because there are no news from the world, from the outside world. It's really difficult to imagine where she is, even whether she is alive.
He's in the silence with the cockroaches and the rats.
She's probably enjoying herself. She's living her life, and I am in this place.
He thinks,
you think everybody has forgotten about me?
Maybe she's left him.
He probably hated her at that particular time.
Mohammed had entered a dark and angry place of the mind from which he saw no way out. Until one day, he hears a tap and a whispered voice.
A, B, C, D, E.
It's a code.
F.
And letters turn to words, words to conversations. The inmate on the other side of the wall is a doctor who starts diagnosing Mohammed.
Acute anxiety here. He was telling me these symptoms through the wall. I was frightened of going to a certain area in my mind when I would commit suicide without knowing, without wanting to.
The doctor manages to get hold of a book, the fattest he could find. He thinks, maybe this'll help.
So then I started knocking, and he started listening.
All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Everything was in
Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy is 800 pages. That's 2 million letters, each letter a set of taps. Anna is a Russian noblewoman who's cut off from society because she has an affair. She spends a lot of time alone, obsessed with what her lover's doing when he's not with her. She's jealous, and her jealousy drives her to an impulsive act.
She knew what she had to do. With a rapid, light step, she went down the steps that led from the tank to the rails and stopped, quite near the approaching train. She looked at the lower part of the
I really cried. I felt for her.
But then he realizes his tears are not just for Anna.
That's when I remember my wife.
Ismahan.
How much she's suffering, and yes, the book's the one that brought me back to think about her a lot.
What happened? At first he saw himself as Anna, a mirror of his pain. But Tolstoy's novel tells stories from many perspectives. And that takes Mohammed out of his head, out of the prison. He goes from self-pity to pity for his wife.
Did I do well in those few months we were together?
He could think a thought like,
she suffered worse than me, because I was only in prison, but she was in the outside world.
8 years later, when the dictator relented and Mohammed was released from prison, he found out she had suffered. She was a refugee. But she was still in love with him. And it was Tolstoy, he says, who helped him let go of hate and keep his love for her.
I should build a monument for that book.